This is Akahi News. The EFCC chairman, Olukoyede, is now facing calls for his removal following the controversial freezing of Osun State government accounts, an action that President Bola Tinubu subsequently ordered reversed. But before Nigerians demand the EFCC chairman sack, there are some very important questions we need to ask. And what is that question? Was EFCC wrong? Was President Tinubu wrong to intervene? Or are both sides exposing a deeper problem with Nigeria's anti-corruption system? Let's examine it critically together. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, says it had been investigating Osun State government since March 2026 over alleged irregularities involving about 11 billion naira in ecology funds, intervention funds, and FAAC allocations. The commission says that on August 2nd, 2026, it detected suspicious movement of funds and therefore imposed a restriction on the account. And this is where the first major controversy begins. EFCC initially defended its action by saying that it could restrict an account for up to 72 hours without first obtaining court order, after which it could approach the court if necessary. But the Osun State government challenged that position, arguing that the restriction was unlawful without a court order. Now, reports have emerged of a federal high court order authorizing the freezing of 3 Osun State government accounts. So, we have a crucial question here, and the question is, was there a valid court order supporting the restriction, and was that order properly served on the affected bank and government? The answer matters a lot, because having a court order and properly serving that order are not necessarily the same thing. Take note of that and pay attention. An Osun State lawyer is now saying that neither the state nor the bank was served with the order. So this matter should ultimately be settled by the courts, not by political arguments. Now, let's move to President Tinubu. The president has repeatedly said that anti-corruption agency must operate independently and without political interference. He says he has deliberately avoided interfering with EFCC's operational activities. But when EFCC acted against Osun State accounts shortly before the August 15 governorship election, the president intervened and ordered that the account be unfrozen. Take note of that point. And here is the contradiction. The president says he does not interfere with EFCC operation, but he intervened in this particular operation. The president also said he had not been fully appraised of the facts behind the EFCC action, yet he considered the timing inappropriate and intervened. That raises a serious question, and the question is, if the president did not yet have the full facts, why not first allow EFCC to explain itself and allow the courts to decide? But let us also be fair to the EFCC. Should an anti-corruption agency stop investigating suspicious financial activities simply because an election is approaching? The answer is an emphatic no. If EFCC discovers suspicious transactions and genuinely believed funds could be removed, it would also be irresponsible to say, let's wait until after election. The law cannot have an election timetable. That is the fact. But EFCC also cannot ignore the political sensitivity of its actions. Freezing a state government account just days before an election involving the incumbent governor will naturally generate suspicion. That is the fact. That does not prove political motivation though, but it creates an optics problem that EFCC should have anticipated. And now we have calls for the sack of EFCC chairman Olukoyede, but what exactly has he done wrong? That is the question to answer. What has he done wrong? Did he act outside the law? Did he fabricate evidence? Did he deliberately manipulate an investigation for political purposes? Or did he authorize an investigation that EFCC believed was legally justified? If the evidence shows misconduct, then accountability is necessary. But if his offense is simply that he authorized an investigation that became politically embarrassing, sacking him could send a dangerous message to future anti-corruption chiefs. Now, do your job, but make sure the timing does not upset the presidency. That would not strengthen EFCC independence at all. It weakened it. And there is another irony here. President Tinubu's intervention may actually have created a bigger controversy than the original account freeze. Before the intervention, Nigerians were asking this simple question: why did EFCC freeze Osun State account so close to election? After the intervention, the question became, why can the president intervene in an EFCC operational decision? That is a much bigger institutional question, because if the president can stop an investigation because of timing, Nigerians may eventually ask whether the president can also instruct EFCC when to start an investigation. That is why institutional independence matters. So, what is the Akai News position based on this report? EFCC must explain the investigation, the timing, and the legal basis of its action. Osun State must be allowed to challenge the restriction in court. The presidency must explain the legal basis and limits of its intervention. And Nigerians must resist the temptation to turn every anti-corruption investigation into an APC versus opposition argument. If an APC government is suspected, investigate it. If a PDP government is suspected, investigate it. If an opposition government is suspected, investigate it. But the same standard must apply to everyone. Take note of that point and pay attention. The real casualty here could be public confidence. Nigeria needs an EFCC that is neither an instrument of presidency nor an instrument of the opposition. It must be an institution governed by evidence, law, and due process. So, should Olukoyede be sacked? Not merely because this controversy has become politically embarrassing. If he broke the law, hold him accountable. If he acted within the law, let him do his job. If President Tinubu truly believes in independent institutions, the ultimate test is simple. Can he allow an institution to take a lawful action even when that action is politically uncomfortable for the government? That is the real test of institutional independence. I am Joseph Iyaji, and this platform is Akahi News. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Akahi News on YouTube. Thank you.